What's happening, guys? Austin here again, and this is episode 2 of a series that I started, giving some insight, perspective, a little bit of a backstory into how I created my supplement company, Gymflo. What is up, guys? And I'm going to go ahead and mention that you probably should go ahead and check out episode 1 if you haven't seen it already, because you're going to start this bad boy and you're going to be like, what the hell is he talking about? Just out of the blue. I'm going to give a quick brief summary of how episode 1 ended and to where we are now. So we started Gymflo, a brand, or our brand, off about 5 to 6 years ago with an idea and a couple bucks, about $70, and it made us 3 pre-workout products that we made, 3 tubs that we took and we gave out samples to friends and family. They realized, man, this is good, y'all should sell it. We would buy it. So next thing you know, we put a little bit more money into it and scaled it and started flipping it. And next thing you know, a couple hundred units later, we now get the notoriety and the word going around the streets to where a local supplement store that was about to open in a few months had reached out to us or heard about us on the good old social media and reached out to us on Instagram and was like, hey, I had heard from a friend about y'all's product. I would love to talk with y'all, meet up, and see what I could do to carry y'all in my store once I open. We were like, hell yeah, let's go. That was our first ever retailer and wholesaler partner. And it was just a stepping stone into leveling up Gymflo. Once we met with the owner of the store, he gave us some good ideas and critiques on how we can make our products look a little bit less sketchy, because at the time we thought they were cool, but they were just tubs with printer paper wrapped around them as a label, and attaching that label to the tub was packaging tape. So not our best work by any means, but it's how we got started. We just pushed through, bootstrapped, and got it done. But we wanted to make our products look a little bit more aesthetic for a store shelf. And with his advice and a help from a few people around the community, we were able to get some pretty cool labels and level up our product to where it looked a whole lot more aesthetic on a shelf, pretty much. But we were still hand making it and whatnot. And over time, over a few months' time, we had moved double the amount that we were used to, obviously being on a store shelf. And with that store owner seeing our commitment, our grit, the leveling up of marketing, and how passionate we were behind it, he realized he had some connections that would help us. And over time, with him building connections with different brands around the country, he had built relationships with a few retailers and manufacturers that he had hooked us up with or connected us with. The next thing you know, we're reaching out to a manufacturer that professionally makes dietary supplements. And from there, we reached out to about product and getting a few different products made and realizing we were biting off a little bit more than we could chew budget-wise. Even though we had sold hundreds of units hand to hand for the year and a half before this, we still didn't have enough saved up to be able to drop the amount of money it takes to start an actual run of product with a manufacturer. With most manufacturers, their minimum order unit-wise to even talk to them is going to be ranging from 288 units to 500 units minimum. So you're committing to a lot, you're committing to a big budget, a big deposit that you're gonna have to give them and let that money sit there for 4 to 6 weeks until that product turns around to where you can make some money with it. But we knew we had been doing it for so long that we were ready to take that next step, and we were excited to, because we still didn't know what we were truly doing. And now that we're working with a few people that had been in the industry for a little bit, we realized we were definitely going to be making a lot more traction and being a lot more efficient and just overall better quality of product and brand that we could offer to our customers. So after getting a few quotes though, we realized it was gonna kick us in the nuts. So we either needed to take the next year, 2, maybe 3 years, and keep selling hand to hand to save up enough money to be able to make that order, or get it done even quicker by going to a bank and getting a loan, or finding a family friend to loan us some money. After weighing out all the options, we went out to dinner, I think, one night, and all 3 of us, my brother, me, and the shop owner, who eventually became a third partner in Gymflo. We sat down, wrote out a little bit of a business plan, and realized how much our budget would be to start an initial order of product. I don't remember the amount of units that we ordered off the top of my head. I do remember the cost though. But we realized we were going to be spending about $15,000 to $16,000 just on product alone to get our initial order going. And with most manufacturers, you're going to have to put 50% down of the total order to get the order going, and then you give the other 50% to release the product, then it gets shipped to you. So that's a big chunk of change you have to have sitting around to be able to drop and be committed and wait for 4 to 6 weeks for that money to come back to where you can start putting it to work and, you know, obviously growing a business, a company, a brand. Realizing that none of us really had enough experience or history per se with the bank on loans, we probably weren't going to be able to get a decent bank loan with any type of good interest. So that was sort of out of the question. None of us really had money. So third best bet was to find a investor or somebody within the family or a friend that would loan us the money and we'd pay back over time. So that's what Jake and I did. We sat down, we realized that we had a close family friend that was willing and able to give us a little bit of a loan. And we started off Gymflo with a loan of $25,000. And that got us our first run of order, which was $15,000 to $16,000 worth of product and a little bit of money to put towards website, a little bit of marketing material, apparel, stuff to drop a brand with and help release it. I don't remember the date for sure, but off the top of my head, we got that $25,000 loan probably late 2016. And over the next year and a half, we put a lot of money after getting that lump sum of product into apparel, a website, a graphic design artist to make our labels, leveling everything brand-wise up, the whole thing. And then we also put a huge lump sum into marketing. And marketing, when we first started off, we weren't really putting any money into Instagram or Facebook ads. That wasn't a thing back then. But we were putting it into the streets. We were going to every single bodybuilding show that we could find locally or within the state, and also traveling up and down the East Coast, going as far north as Connecticut and as far south as South Carolina, I believe. So we were spending a ton of money at those events. And in another video, I'm definitely going to be hitting on things probably to do and not to do when you're getting a loan or starting a startup, at least in my opinion and experience. But that's besides the point. But over that year and a half, our monthly average of revenue was probably $2,000 to $3,000 a month, mainly from our website and the local store that we had partnered up with in downtown Richmond. So things in the community were growing, they were great, building and adding a ton of new products, flavors, variants, the whole nine. Over some time though, over that year and a half, almost 2-year period going to about 2018, we realized something was off with our funds. There was a hole in our ship, or there was a few holes in our ship. And being a new startup, never really creating a business or being in a company, running it, budgeting it, neither three of us, we didn't know what was really going on and why money wasn't really staying in the bank. And we were putting money out, selling product, but money just wasn't coming back. So over some time and some investigation, bad decisions were made, and between all three of us, but a ton of bad decisions were made that I'll have to talk about later in that things to do, not to do video. After some time during that period, we realized we needed to part ways with our third partner. So me and my brother moved on and moved all of our product into our mom's house, where she had a spare room that she rented us for about a year. We saved a ton of money, plugged a bunch of holes in our ship, and realized that we needed to budget and be way more responsible with our spending and what we spent money on, making sure that any money went out was only to make more money and be able to I don't want this to come off saying like, oh, it's all about money, but to be able to scale and grow a business when you have huge holes in your ship, it's only going to continue to sink. It doesn't matter how much money you're throwing in it, it's eventually going to sink. So stepping back, consolidating a lot of things, making sure that just everything was plugged up and we were dry for the most part. And obviously our $10,000 a month revenue dropped considerably during that time. realizing that we couldn't restock our product. We were running very low on a ton of products that were big movers, like our pre-workout All or Nothing. And we weren't able to restock a ton of products that we had originally come out with. So we had actually had a huge rise and a demise in 2018. 2018, I remember telling somebody this, 2018 was our best year and our worst year all in one. And I'm sure that might be a story for most people out there, but it was our highest and our lowest low that year. Now, over the years, we've learned a ton of lessons since then, and we've learned to make a lot more responsible decisions and moves from there. But we've created some great relationships since then with a bunch of new retail partners and have grown considerably over time and been enjoying the process, learning it, and learning to love it. Love the struggle, strength through struggle for sure. But we have actually created a great relationship here with Iron Built Gym, where we're actually located now and where I'm filming this, which is inside the Gymflo HQ in the back of Iron Built Gym. We have subleased an office from them, which is much bigger than Mom's house. And we can finally fit everything under one roof, from our podcast station, which is on the other side of this camera, which is for the brands Iron Built and Gymflo for us to talk about, give updates, and obviously personal life and what we're going through. Check it out. It's the All or Nothing Show. You can find it on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes, and all those other streaming services. But we also can fit all of our product in here, which you can see a little bit behind me, and then also probably some outside of the frame that you might not see. I have my office over there to the corner, which I can take care of orders, keep up with customers, and then also my personal training, which I'm a full-time trainer besides Gymflo as well. And then this little rack behind me is for grab and go items to pack up orders and ship them out for all of our website orders that come in. But I'm hoping I'll get a little insight on what we've been through. I'm sure there's a ton of details that I've left out or forgotten to mention. I feel like I get on this camera and I'm rambling and I'm like, I probably shouldn't go on that route or this route because it'll just open up a wormhole to where I'm just way off topic. But a ton of speed bumps, a ton of hurdles, lessons learned, war wounds that you're gonna get with a startup and starting your own brand or company. But the only way you're gonna learn how to do it is just by doing it. You can get loans, you can watch videos, you can read books, but until you get in the dirt, you aren't gonna realize what you're made of until you get a little dirty. But nonetheless, Gymflo is out here moving forward, getting it done every day. So hopefully with this series and this episode, you got a little perspective, a little bit more insight, backstory to Gymflo, maybe even a little bit of motivation to start what you're always thinking about, whatever passion that may be. It doesn't have to be starting your own supplement company. Just starting what you're always thinking about, whatever's in the back of your mind. It's just that easy. Just start. If you have any questions for us, make sure you drop them down in the comments below. What would you like to see in the next episode? Drop down in the comments below what you'd like to see from us next. And obviously give me a follow on social media, both Gymflo and myself, which are down in the description below. And obviously shop now at www.gymflo.co. We'll see what we got next for you. See y'all.